allemaal and welcome to this week's episode of TulipTV. I just had my art show and had a very interesting conversation with one of the Dutch ladies that attended that is a little bit older, and she looks fantastic, and I asked her, how come you look so good? What is your secret? I think she's about the same age as my mom, which would be in her 80s, and my apologies if I'm wrong if you're watching this program. Anyway, she said to me the secret to staying young is to keep moving. She said she was still swimming, doing yoga, walking, and like a good Dutch person, bicycling. So for all of you out there, get moving. The reason I'm bringing this up, because we just had the oldest person in Holland have their birthday. She turned 110. And incidentally, the oldest person in the world became 122 and was born in France, but actually knew Vincent van Gogh and lived for a while in Holland. So Holland must be a good place to age, and I'm sure Canada is too. Here's what's coming up this week on TulipTV.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad. Canada to Leave is the online community for the Dutch living in Canada and the Canadians living in the Netherlands. Canada to Leave, wherever you live.
We are now here on an event at the Sutton Place Hotel, and the reason is Sonoma County from California has invited. Sonoma County is close to the region of San Francisco, and of course most of you probably know Napa Valley. Napa Valley is a huge wine region in California. I'm saying it in that way, I'm not exaggerating, because if you compare it to British Columbia, it's really huge. Okay, we're gonna go around now and check out the various booths here. So here we are now at the Segesio family booth. And Les, you're a distributor for the Segesio.
Yeah, we're the agency that represents Segesio in British Columbia. We work for Grady Wine Marketing.
Yeah.
So we're an import agent owned by Andrew Peller, but we maintain our own separate sales and marketing division.
So, can you actually tell us the big difference between the California wine and the British Columbia wine?
Well, I mean, California wines have been doing it for probably a little bit longer than BC wines, but BC wines have come a long way because they have the VQA wines. They're now world-class wines, and so I mean they're both excellent regions, of wines. So excellent quality.
Now, price-wise, how come BC wine is so expensive and California wine so?
I wouldn't say it's expensive. It's just that the BC government wants to make sure that the local industry, I mean, we sell more BC wines. So
I see.
That's partly why. I mean, I wouldn't say they're expensive, but costs of producing wines have gone up. But it's no different from other wines regions.
Let's taste then some of the Segesio family vineyard wine.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Here we have our 2009 Sangiovese. So the Segesio family are Italian immigrants going back to the late 1800s. So this is spec wine for $33. It's not often you get a Sangiovese grape produced in Sonoma County.
At this booth, actually, the founder of this wine is Mr. Shug, and he comes from?
I don't know exactly where in Germany, but Germany. Well, he's actually one of the founding winemakers at Joseph Phelps, and he was the guy that created Insignia. So that was their sort of top wine, first guy to plant Syrah and stuff like that in Napa. So today what we have is basically a cross-section of what Shug does, but I'd say they're sort of what they're known for, and their flagship would be their Carneros Pinot. That's their sort of what they're known for. And these wines will also be featured at the Vancouver International Wine Festival that's coming up in the new year, and California will be the theme region for it.
And now we are at the Peacock booth, and Paul's going to explain us a little bit the name. And so you said it comes from Holland, actually?
Originally, my family were what they call United Empire Loyalists, Pennsylvania Dutch. They weren't all Germans, they were Dutch as well. And so that's the name we chose for the company.
Oh, wow.
So we represent one of the older family wineries, 4 generations now in Sonoma County. Started in 1927, and we have the great-grandchildren working in the winery today.
Cool.
Back then, we had a clone of Zinfandel, which we now call Mother Clone. But all of the vines that go into this wine were cloned from that original stock from the 20s. Think of them as starting during Prohibition, the Prohibition era, and making sacramental wine just to keep the vineyard going.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And because they've owned the vineyards for so long, the prices are very reasonable. So this wine is in the low 20s in British Columbia.
Here we got a German name, Bettina Sichel. Hi, Bettina.
Hi.
But you said your German is not perfect.
I was born in the U.S. I have lived in Germany, and I studied at the Goethe Institute.
Oh, that's cool.
And I did a practicum with a German bank, the Teisner Bank, but that was a long time. I run a small Cabernet vineyard, planted exclusively Cabernet Sauvignon. We make 2 wines from the vineyard. Both are 100% Cabernet, 100% from the estate. And the only difference is the lot selection. So the Laurel Glen Counterpoint is made from the lots which are ready to drink, sooner upon release, and the Laurel Glen Vineyard Estate Cabernet is from the lots which show more promise of improving with time. So this is our flagship, meant to get better with time.
Bettina, excellent wine.
Thank you so much.
Coincidentally, the manager of the hotel came also to this event. Navid, how come you're here?
Well, somebody has to make sure that the services and standards are all in place.
But you're not tasting the wine?
Not today.
No, not today.
No. I'm working, but I do sincerely see a great selection of wines here, and it's a great turnout. The people seem to be really enjoying themselves. As I can see, you have a glass in your hand. No, this is a great venue, and we're very, very honored to be part of this venue and to be able to showcase such beautiful wines.
Do you do often these kind of events, actually?
I mean, we do participate quite a bit in these events. As you know, we have a beautiful specialty wine store here in our establishment as well, at the hotel, where we feature many of these specially selected bottles of wines for retail. So we're definitely involved in the community.
That wine store is actually pretty new, right? Relatively new.
It's relatively new. We've had about, it's going into the 4th year, and it's a great addition to our family here. And as I said, we feature over 700 labels there, and we're very successful within the community of downtown, and we feature a lot of the selective wines that may not be available throughout the Lower Mainland.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad.
here we got Chico. He's an expert on wines. Tell us why.
Well, it's a matter of just keeping up with the times and doing your homework, and then attending to these particular events, which it teach you every year how the process of the wineries and the development of the wine business, which changes all the time. So what you knew last year doesn't necessarily applies to this year. So it's a matter of just keep as amateurs, as enthusiasts of wine, as experts. You don't have to be an expert to enjoy wine.
So Chico, why do you have 2 glasses?
Well, I particularly like to keep one for white wine and one for red wine. I know there's people that rinse the glass. Well, I don't like that. And the reason is because if the particular place that you are attending in whatever hotel or whatever place is, if there's something wrong with the dishwasher or something, then it could affect the flavor of the wine.
So do you drink the wine or do you actually spit it out?
Well, I spit most of it, but if it's an exceptional wine, I will drink it.
Oh.
Please do not spit the good ones.
That's cool.
I spit. Well, at some point you do have to evaluate the wine, because drinking it is easy. To evaluate the wine, you do have to do the whole ritual and to be able to judge it. But you could also do the ritual and then drink it after.
Cool.
I'm also in the restaurant business too. So basically, it is good to combine the food with the wine and good company.
What kind of restaurant? Mexican?
No Mexican. But there is such a thing as Mexican cuisine that goes very well with red wine. Remember, if it's spicy, then you don't want something too dry. You want something sweet, and you don't want something too heavy. For the if you're having some spicy meats, then you can do some sort of a light Pinot Noir, like a light Chianti or a Rioja from Spain, and then if you have some sort of a Mexican dishes with meat, that would be very well.
I think here I found a German now who is producing the wine, and because so your name is Klein, or customer.
Klein, Kunda, yeah, customer.
So how come are you German?
Yes, my great grandfather came from Germany in 1904.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is actually our 108th vintage in the Sonoma Valley for our family.
You right away, your family right away started with wine.
Yeah, started making wines. Well, and actually more growing grapes. We started making our own wines back in 1990, so it's been about 22 years. He had a winery there, but they closed it during the 50s. So yeah, so pretty much from that time forward, it's been growing for everybody.
Wait a minute, he didn't close it during the Prohibition?
No, they made a lot of money during Prohibition. A lot of very religious people and very unhealthy, you know, for sacramental or medicinal purposes.
I see. So if there is some sort of prohibition in your country, you just go into
holy mode.
Into the holy mode, and then you're allowed to drink the wine of...
each family during Prohibition could make 200 gallons of wine per year per family.
Seriously?
And that's what they did, yes. They sold the grapes to the East Coast.
So which one would you want me to try if I want to try only one?
If I wanted you to try only one, would be our Century Vine Zinfandel. That's off vines 130 years old. That's something you just don't find around here.
No, wait a minute. That wine is not 130 years old.
No, I'm 130 years old. No, the wine is actually off vines 130 years old. Yes, that is correct.
But there's 2009 written on it.
That is the vintage, but the wine, the plants themselves are that old.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
all right, cool.
Yes.
Very
so
cool.
It's a very elegant style Zinfandel.
Do I do it the correct way here with the smelling?
You betcha. Just swirl it around in your glass a little more. Even go faster, like this. Here's how you want to do it. This is how. Okay, get a smell there right now. Now watch this. Go like this. Now smell it.
Oh yeah.
Big difference, huh?
Stronger.
Yeah, getting a lot more aeration to the...
Very cool.
Yes, and that's how you do it.
Excellent.
That's pretty good. That was rated one of the top 10 Zinfandels of the year in the United States in Wine and Spirits magazine.
Charlotte, you just told me you're German.
I am German. My family's from Germany. My grandparents and my dad was born in Germany. My mom was born here.
But wait a minute, you said also you're a little bit Dutch.
A little bit Dutch. My mom's family actually immigrated to Germany and then came to Canada.
So what are you doing exactly here? What are you looking for?
Well, I work in fine dining, so I'm here sampling some of the wines from Sonoma just to get a taste of what I like the best and also to shop for my own home collection.
I see. Jamie is going to explain to us a little bit the wines of Kendall Jackson. Has nothing to do, by the way, with Jackson Hill, correct? With BC? No. Are they connected?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is Jackson. Kendall Jackson is originally from California, and they're the second biggest wine producer in Sonoma.
So, what is the speciality of the Kendall Jackson?
Well, it's their quality. You know, they really work hard on choosing the best grapes that are grown in the region. Their winemaking is second to none, and they got a history of aiming for the best. And I think, and it's got a reputation too of having good quality, consistent quality throughout their wines. And then we have this one here, which is a blend, and that's a blend of Zinfandel, Syrah, Merlot, a little bit of Grenache and Petit Syrah, but very smooth and again well balanced. And many of the patrons today, they thought this was the most unique wine here today. Just a little bit different.
Gee, I'm so blue. Ich bin so blau. But in German we say ich bin so blau. I'm so blue. That means I'm pretty drunk.
In Canada, if you say that you're blue, it means that you're very sad. But drinking wine makes you very happy. And in Canada, if you get very drunk, you say I am very bombed.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad. Canada to Leave is the online community for the Dutch living in Canada and the Canadians living in the Netherlands. Canada to Leave, wherever you live.
What is so special about the Siduri wine?
Basically, Siduri Wines is a husband and wife, transplants from Texas, that started the brand back in 1994. You know, no formal training, just crazy passionate about Pinot Noir. And ultimately what ended up happening was they came out to California, started making wine in '94, experienced some great success. We flash forward today. In 2012, we make Pinot Noir from 5 different major appellations on the West Coast. So if there's anything very unique, is we try to produce wines that are representative of each of the appellations that we work with on the West Coast. So if anything, if you come to Siduri, you can experience wines from 5 different AVAs and really get a different, or an impression of what the wines from Santa Rita Hills, how they differ from Oregon.
Now we heard quite a few times already Russian River.
Yes.
This seems to be some golden area.
Well, the area is famous for Pinot Noir. Incredible wines come out of the appellation. And what this event that you're attending is sponsored by the Sonoma County Vintners. And so they're focused on appellations within Sonoma County. We also have a wine here today from Sonoma Coast that is again within the greater appellation Sonoma County, but Russian River is definitely world renowned for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. We try to introduce the brand at a lower cost to folks. The single vineyard wine is the best wine we were able to produce from that given location.
Excellent. So now we are at Petsy King Vineyards, and I have Will Flach here, who's going to explain us a little bit their wines. And the funny thing is, Flach is actually German. He mentioned it himself, but well, who doubts that? Over 25% of the Americans are of German descent.
Petsy King is famous for Zinfandel, and have been making it for quite a long time. They're family owned. This is Petsy King's, as they call their old vine Zin. So there's a lot of old vine Zinfandel that does grow in Sonoma, especially in Dry Creek Valley. This is their 75 to 80-year-old vines, so this is quite special. It's a very unique wine. We only make anywhere from 600 to 800 cases per vintage, so very small production. Wow. It's about $40 Canadian a bottle. I think it's been one of the favorites in the room today, to be honest. We've had a lot of people coming back and wanting to retry it again. As you know, with wine, a lot of it's word of mouth, and people have been talking about it in the room, so we've had a lot of people come back and say, hey, I've got to try your old vine Zinfandel, so here we are. And this is, I guess it would be kind of sort of their entry-level wine. Zinfandel is, well, home to Zinfandel is Dry Creek Valley in Sonoma County. A lot of it's grown there, and as Mass was alluding to earlier, a lot of early immigrants settled in Sonoma County, i.e. Italians, Germans, and even Dutch settlers as well, back in the late 1800s. So Petsy King has been around, I think, 15, 20 years as a winery now. They're not as old as some of the other wineries are that you'll see next. But this is their entry-level Zinfandel, which is a combination of 25 to 30-year-old vines that they're using in this wine itself. The Pacific Ocean is not too far away, so there's a bit of Merino influence, not like Russian River Valley, which is, oh, we have a map here actually. Thank you, Steve. We show the map here. So you'll see Russian River Valley. You see Healdsburg, which is in the middle, then Dry Creek Valley. So Dry Creek Valley's a bit in.
Oh, I see. So
really hot days, but cool nights as well.
It's really interesting. You come to these wine events and you meet people from hotels, from other wineries, from liquor stores and restaurants, and now we have Teresa here. She's from a resort, actually from Tofino, right?
Yes, that's right.
So tell us a little bit about Tofino itself. There was this, you know, there was quite a few storms there, right?
There's quite a few storms, definitely.
And how do you handle that? How is the resort handling that?
Well, we are an eco-tourist resort. So it is soft-sided accommodation. So all of our tents that our guests stay in have been stored away. Our on-site staff, however, are in cabins. So luckily, like the huff and puff and it doesn't blow down, they're very secure cabins with beautiful heating and well appointed.
Your resort cannot be reached by car?
No, we are a fly-in only resort. We fly our guests from Vancouver Airport, from Richmond, and it's about a 40-minute flight over the biosphere of old growth forest. So it gives our guests a chance to see just a glimpse of where they're going into. Beautiful mountains, ravines. We backside onto Strathcona Park Lodge.
So this sounds very exclusive.
It is.
It is?
Yes.
Do you want to reveal us a sample price?
A sample price for a couple that wants to spend 3 nights and 3 days at our resort, all inclusive, is 12,000 Canadian dollars, and well worth every penny. We love to make sure that our guests are very happy there.
So a lot of people cannot come because they cannot afford it. What do you think about that?
That is the great thing about having Tofino close by, because we do have our partners, the Wake and Inish Inn and Long Beach Lodge, as well as even Bella Pacific Camping Ground.
Yeah.
So they can come to Tofino and experience everything about it.
This program is sponsored by Dutch, the full-color English language magazine about the Netherlands and its people, at home and abroad.
We hope you liked this week's episode of Tulip TV. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. And remember, we're independently produced, so we solely rely on viewers like you to make us a donation or to sponsor us. So if you like us, please go to our website www.tuliptv and click on donate. On behalf of everybody at Tulip TV, we'd like to thank you for watching this week and we'll hope you'll watch again next week. Tot ziens en prettige week!